November 2nd, a date that has witnessed some of America's most consequential political miscalculations. It's a day when a president's overconfidence cost him everything, a secret deal backfired spectacularly, and a poorly designed ballot changed the course of history. What's the common thread? A single, avoidable error with massive consequences. This is the story of America's greatest mistakes on November 2nd. Welcome! Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. In politics and policy, small mistakes can have enormous, unintended outcomes. A wrong prediction, a bad gamble, or even a simple design flaw can alter the nation's destiny. On this November 2nd, we're examining three critical errors. A presidential campaign that defied the polls, a covert operation that blew up in America's face, and an election decided by a confusing piece of paper. Let's start with the biggest upset in presidential history. Mistake number 1. The Chicago Daily Tribune's Dewey Defeats Truman, 1948. It's 1948. President Harry Truman is facing what everyone believes is an impossible battle for re-election. The polls, the pundits, and the press have already written his political obituary. The context: Truman was deeply unpopular, facing a fractured Democratic Party and a seemingly invincible Republican opponent in Thomas Dewey. Every major poll and newspaper was predicting a Dewey victory. The November 2nd error. On November 2nd, 1948, the Chicago Daily Tribune went to press with its infamous headline before the final results were in. But the real mistake wasn't the newspapers. It was the collective failure of the entire political establishment. The mistake, the critical error, was one of supreme overconfidence and flawed polling. The political class, media, and Dewey's own campaign misread the electorate, failing to see the quiet groundswell of support for Truman's fiery whistle-stop campaign among farmers and laborers. The consequence: the mistake created one of the most enduring images of political hubris in American history. It permanently damaged the credibility of the polling industry and the newspapers that had been so confidently wrong. It served as a permanent lesson that elections are won by voters, not by headlines or polls. The lesson: never confuse media narrative with public sentiment. Over-reliance on polls and conventional wisdom can blind you to the reality on the ground. Mistake number 2. The Iran-Contra affair exposed, 1986. From a very public political miscalculation to a secret, illegal policy that would unravel and shock the nation nearly 40 years later. The context: in the mid-1980s, the Reagan administration was secretly conducting two controversial policies: negotiating with Iran for the release of American hostages in Lebanon, and funding the Contra rebels in Nicaragua despite a congressional ban. The November 2nd revelation. On November 2nd, 1986, the Lebanese magazine Al-Shira exposed the secret arms for hostages deal, blowing the lid off what would become the Iran-Contra affair. The mistake: the administration believed it could operate a massive, illegal foreign policy operation in secret. It was a catastrophic failure of judgment and legality, violating the Constitution's checks and balances by circumventing Congress. The consequence: the scandal severely damaged the Reagan presidency, leading to multiple investigations and the indictment of several administration officials. It revealed a shocking level of deception at the highest levels of government. It permanently eroded public trust and stands as a textbook example of a rogue executive branch operation. The lesson: secrecy and illegality in government, even for goals that seem justified in the moment, inevitably corrode democratic institutions and public trust. Conclusion: so what connects a wrong headline, an illegal arms deal, and a confusing ballot? They all represent a failure of basic competence and foresight. In each case, a simple, avoidable error: rushing to print, thinking secrets would never get out, failing to proofread a ballot, led to consequences that shaped presidencies, foreign policy, and the very course of American history. November 2nd teaches us that, in a democracy, the details matter. The systems we design, the laws we follow, and the information we trust are all vulnerable to human error. The lesson is to proceed with humility, integrity, and a sharp eye for the fine print. Which of these mistakes do you think was the most avoidable? Let me know in the comments. If you believe in learning from history's blunders, please like and subscribe for more daily history. Thanks for watching.